Have you ever wanted to get away, pack all your bags, hit the road? That's a Sphinx if I ever saw one. And travel.
Report to the dance floor. The bad girls and man whores. There's a feeling in the club, and it's going airborne. Phil Collins, my whole life I've been waiting. For this moment I can't waste it.
But then you think to yourself, oh my goodness, but how am I going to make music? How am I going to get creative with myself? This is my guitar. I don't know it anywhere. Well, to answer that question, me and my partner packed up our bags and we said to ourselves, you know what? We want to bring our creative stuff with us. You know, I have a bunch of clothes, but really not that many. Most of my luggage is just filled up with music gear. I brought MIDI controllers, speaker, headphones, microphones, guitar even, and yes, I have checked my guitar. It's okay. It won't die. So now I'm just gonna walk through kind of what I have brought with me to create my little music studio on the go. So I set it up in whatever Airbnb that we're in. Currently we're in Thailand, and yeah, here we go. So this isn't going to be the most budget setup. I will admit that there's a couple things in here that cost some money, but I've acquired them over time. It also won't be like the most elite, awesome setup. I don't have any teenage engineering products yet. And to be honest, I would probably make more music, more creativity if I had less. I think that having too much stuff is a hindrance at some point, but I just love the technology. I love setting up little custom things. At the center of it, I have my MacBook Pro here, and it's an M1 Max. I bought it when the M1 MacBook Pros were coming out. I had a computer from 2016. It was like 2021-ish. And so I was like, now's the time. Now's the time to get some fresh computer vibes. And I've had it ever since. It works great. It's a workhorse. I'm really glad I have it because I definitely put this thing through the ringer, creating videos, music. So first I'm gonna go over sort of the inputs that I have, and then I'm gonna go over the outputs that I have. And I'll probably make a separate video for my Ableton setup and my templates and all that. If you want to see that, that'll be a subscription to the channel would be appreciated. For the audio input, I use the Scarlett 2i2, which is pretty much enough for my needs. Allows for as the name entails, 2 inputs and then 2 outputs. The only downside is that I would like to have maybe a 4i4. That would probably be ideal. It gives you a couple extra like routing options, and I can have my guitar plugged in as well as 2 different microphones at the same time. If my partner and I are playing, doing something together, now I have to kind of do things a little bit separated. But overall, it works, and it's got a nice little headphone jack and 2 outputs in the back, but it works perfectly. As far as microphones, I actually have 3 different microphones now. So number 1, I have this AKG C214. It's not as expensive as like the more expensive model, I guess, the 414. But it gets the job done. Bought it in Guitar Center Miami. Shout out Miami. It's done a pretty good job. It's good for recording nice, sweet, smooth vocals. And overall, I'm very happy with it. I also have this piece of Fender MM101 dynamic microphone. I don't know where exactly I got it from. The capsule feels loose inside of it. But it works in a pinch to get, quick things for live looping. It's pretty good. And lastly, I have this Hollyland Lark M2, which I'm using to record this video. I really bought it so I could do kind of easier setup for recording videos. The downside of this is that you can't connect like a lavalier microphone. You pretty much just get the microphone. That's what you get. The upside is it's like 160 USD, so it's not too bad. It comes with 2 microphones, a bunch of clips. What more can you ask for, huh? What more can you ask for? And then I have my guitar, my Taylor right here. Yeah, my Taylor right here. It's the guitar. It's come with me a long time. We got my 114 CE. I've had it for a long while now. It's traveled with me to over 20 countries, and it is a beauty. It's only gotten lost in transit one time in Istanbul, but these things happen. And then they were able to get it to me in Cape Town, which was a whole other crazy story. I'll leave that for another time. I actually have these rechargeable D batteries for the guitar so that the electronics work. The reason why I have the rechargeable ones is because I was here in Thailand last year. It ran out of batteries. I was using it. I was recording with it a lot. The D batteries that they have here weren't like exactly the same size, and so it didn't fit. And so you either want to bring extra batteries with you, or I chose rechargeable batteries so that I wouldn't have to buy new batteries all the time. Before I get into my Midi gear, that you can see some of it over here, I want to actually talk about microphone stands. If you're a musician, then you know that microphone stands are actually super heavy, and they're meant to be that way so that you can rest expensive equipment on them. Unfortunately, nothing aside from microphones use microphone stands. So bringing it with me, like a heavy 10-pound, 5-pound even microphone stand, is just like a waste of space and a waste of weight. And so I figured out this kind of alternative here, a camera tripod, which is what this is, basically a small tripod here. Basically, you can get this like 3/8 adapter right there. You can turn any camera tripod into a microphone stand. And what's good about camera tripods is that they are, for the most part, designed to be very sturdy and hold up electrical equipment. And so I have a cheap one here, but it works great for my purposes. That's how I get around the issue of carrying around a microphone stand. Instead, I just carry an extra camera tripod, which I was already carrying with me for shooting videos and other reasons. You might bring a camera tripod, but this way you got dual uses. That's my point. You want to bring things that have dual uses. That's okay. Onto some Midi gear. So last year I was carrying around this around the world for a little bit. This is the Launchkey 25 Novation. It's a great Midi keyboard. I really love it a lot, honestly. The keys are really great, very expressive, and it has good customization. Novation has really good customization with the pads and controlling Ableton. It's a bit thick. It's a bit of a thick boy, and it's pretty cumbersome. The reason why I have it now is because my partner, Lindsay, she's learning to play the piano. So we have this little piano, and she said she would carry it in her stuff. So I tried the AKG MPK 25, the really small one that you see a lot of producers use. I don't like that one that much. The keys are too small for my hands, and you can't get really any like velocity on it or expressiveness from the keys. And so it's just not like a super fun playing experience for me. I sold it. I had it, I tried it out, I sold it. I didn't like it. It wasn't for me. Now I will show you my favorite piece of tech. It is like, I think it is probably the best MIDI controller out there. And it is, it is the Novation Launchpad Pro. It is awesome. It's got a 16x16 grid right here. It's got session view. I can't turn it on because it's not connected. Session view for Ableton. It's got notes, it's got chords, it's got some customized settings, which I use a ton for live looping. It's got sequencer, and you can save all those projects. It is absolutely overpowered. Lots of different ways that you can use it with making music or just like vibing out. It's got probability with its sequencer, and so you can add in some randomization. You can customize which MIDI channels it goes out to, so you can control different instruments inside of your computer with just this controller at the same time. I think it is just honestly like one of the best devices ever. Plus, it's super thin and relatively lightweight. It's probably like 2 pounds maybe. It's got MIDI in, out, and through, if that's something you're interested in, and it's all powered USB-C through the computer. It is just such a beautiful little device. It does so much of what I could want. It took a little bit to learn sort of the chord structures, but once you get them, they're really not that hard to do. That's like a C chord right there. And I just love this thing. I think it's so great. And honestly, I don't even use all of the power that is within that machine. And that would probably be enough to make music forever. But alas, I have more stuff. The last piece here is the DJ Tech Tools Midi Twister 16. And I've just started playing around with this to be able to have a little bit more tactile touch with trying to do some DJing, some filtering, some effects and things like that. And then I'm also programming it with the software. I'm not like going and coding and stuff like that, setting it up to be able to select different instruments for my live setup so that I can just get instruments on the fly. It's super multi-featured as well. All these buttons click. They have a really satisfying click. Let me see if you can get it. Yeah, this thing was just like a little toy to play around with, to maybe do some DJing, but I like it and I find it fun and cool. Now that we've covered all the inputs, a subscription to the channel would be impeccable. Okay, so all of that plugs into my computer with 2 dongles. I basically have like a USB-A dongle and a USB-C dongle. Each has 4 ports on it. It plugs into my computer and boom, that's what I got. Basically for routing, set it up in my computer so that inside of Ableton, I can output to 3 different places. I output through the headphone jack, and that goes into this little Bluetooth speaker, which I plug in with an auxiliary cable. I have headphones that run out of the 2i2, and that's for like monitoring. And I have the click go through there. And then I also will send an output that goes to my phone via this iRig stream. And so basically I take the output and it goes, I can record either into a video into my phone or into like a voice note or something like that. If you want to see a video of how I set up the routing through Ableton so that I can have it output to a few different places, you can click on the video somewhere up there. And I know that this is sort of a lot of stuff and it's absolutely completely unnecessary. And in order to be creative, all that you need to do is in fact be creative. I think I would be more creative if I had less things, but it's just the way I am. I'm not gonna admonish myself for enjoying the things that I enjoy, because it's not the tools that lead to the expression, it's just the practice of expression. So go out there, do your best, create something, tweak it, edit it, publish something, repeat.